Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and start building your wealth.
Okay, so guys, tonight we're going to talk about joint ventures. And what that means in terms of real estate sales is, well, let me ask the question. Who here has ever partnered with a lender? Usually the lender is the most likely candidate to partner with to do a marketing campaign, and they pay for the marketing. Has anybody done that before? Yep. So that concept, believe it or not, doesn't just apply to lenders. You could do it with people that own the title companies or escrow companies, depending on what state you're in. California is an escrow state, for example. But whoever does your closings, your settlements, sometimes you can partner with them, and they're not as easy to say yes, to get to say yes as the lenders are and the insurance people. But I found out if you find a title company, a settlement company that's really good, you like them, they're fast, they're prompt, they're responsive, they solve problems, and they always keep a cool head. However they do it, I have no idea. Ask them if they wouldn't mind partnering, because then you can influence other agents to do the same thing with them, and they'll get a lot of business from it. Title business is tough. I used to own a title company. I'm telling you, it may look like it's like, hey, you get paid no matter what. Well, you don't. Title companies, the reason why they wait to buy the title policy to the very end is because they know deals fall apart sometimes. And all that work they've done is gone. They do not get paid. Okay? Just like you with the lender when something falls apart. So they had probably the hardest job of all. We have the hard job of getting the deal together. They have the job of making the thing get across the finish line because all kinds of crazy things happen. But in any case, title company, I'm going to go down the list here. Lender, title, and also insurance, homeowners insurance. Has anybody partnered with an insurance agent before doing marketing? It's awesome. It works. I will tell you this. The company I had the most success with when I did it was Liberty Mutual. If you want to write that down. And I've heard other people say the same thing. Liberty Mutual, they're very aggressive when it comes to being creative on marketing. They'll create brochures, flyers, all kinds of stuff. They want the deal. They want the insurance. A lot of times we think insurance is easy because people have to buy homeowners insurance and people have to buy auto insurance, but it's very competitive, right? So think of your insurance agent, whoever insured your house. I suggest call them up and ask them if would they be willing to do a joint venture in wherever you are. Worcester, Massachusetts, Brentwood, California, you name it. In any case, insurance. Okay, here's a couple you may not have considered. Who here has ever worked with an interior design consult, like an interior design company? They are great candidates for doing joint ventures. You can do a couple things with them. A lot of times they also do staging on the side. So they have like a warehouse of furniture that they use. And you will stage your house. For the interior design work, you can say, look, I'll let you use my next listing as a showcase for your interior design. And you do the stage the house for free. And we'll promote that thing all over Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. This is one of the reasons why everybody at some point in your business to create a YouTube channel. It is one of the easiest things to do, totally free. Okay. And a lot of people will tell you it has a better reach than anything on Facebook. And statistically, if you look at it, it's actually true because Google owns YouTube, right? So you could yourself set up on YouTube with a YouTube channel and put videos of nice looking homes on there. You don't even have to be in the video. Just go walk through the house, do the video, do the exterior, put yourself a drone if you want to do that. Put those videos out there on YouTube and you will automatically attract some viewers. Okay. So in any case, that's a great outlet for interior design company to show their stuff. Can you imagine? I mean, so in any case, that's an excellent example. Interior design companies. How about kitchen and bath companies? They'll do it too. Has anybody ever worked with them before? Mm. You absolutely can, 100%. They want the business, right? And they'll help you pay. Sometimes these folks will pay for the entire thing, all the marketing. You don't have to pay a dime. Okay. In any case, window and door companies. Another great one to partner with. Okay. Um, and big contractors in your area, depending on where you are in the market, not the small local contractors, they don't have marketing budgets. They're just trying to get the next job. The companies that are well established, they're famous in your market, they advertise. The contractors that advertise generally have bigger budgets. They charge more for their work, they're usually better at it. But sometimes you can partner with them, especially if you have flippers, if you're working with people that flip homes, okay, and contractors like flippers because they get repeat work over and over and over again. So what you say is you say, look, I've got a handful of flippers here that are flipping homes throughout the year. Would you help pay for some marketing and I'll make sure you get all these remodeling jobs, things like that. Okay. So big contractors. Your last three might be a little bit of a surprise to you. I'm gonna say the best one for last. If anybody has anybody here ever thought of joint venturing with an auto dealership?
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I'm not talking like, used car lots and things like that. I'm talking about Mercedes dealers, Volvo dealers, BMW dealers, Audi dealers, right? Those are the kind of dealers you want to talk to. And what you do is you make it more of a community service event and you use the lobby. They'll let you set up a table or a booth in the lobby, but don't just do it with yourself. Have a financial planner come in. A financial planner and you talk about investing in real estate. Show them examples of flips in the area. Show them examples of rentals in the area. Okay. And the dealership gets traffic coming through there. They already have some traffic. So you benefit from the traffic that comes through from the dealership, right? They see your booth. Hey, what's this all about? I would highly recommend you have some booklets on hand. Let's do a quick little quiz here, or a accountability call. Raise your hand if you already have a booklet or you're starting to work on a booklet. That's one of our main campaigns. This is an excellent example of how you can use a booklet. Showcase some recent flips, bring them into the dealership, put them on a table, have a sign-in sheet, have something else to offer them, bottles of water, something like that, I mean, cookies, anything you can do to attract them. Okay. And get them over there and put their name and email and phone number on your list. Give them a booklet that also has your email, phone number, and your name, of course, and your picture. And then they got something to take away with them to remember you by, right? By the way, always set an appointment. If somebody says, I've been thinking about flipping, I just never done it. I have an uncle that does it and it just looks scary and there's risk and things like that. All you have to do is say, look, would you like to find out how the successful flippers are actually doing it and not getting in trouble? Let's have you figure out how the successful flippers are flipping those. Would you like to do that instead of the unsuccessful flippers? And let's face it, who do you want to learn from? Somebody that's succeeded or somebody that's not succeeded? So that's your angle. In any case, car dealerships. Now, what if you live near the water? What other dealerships do you have if you live near the water? Boat
Boats.
dealerships. Absolutely. You can do the same thing with boat dealers, man. I've done it. Tidewater, Virginia. You know, I bought a boat and I thought, you know what? And you guys ask him, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a real estate investor and I work with investors. And he said, really? I thought about doing that too. We just came up with the idea together. Let's set up a booth in a boat dealership. There's what kind of people buy boats? People that are broke or people that have money? Well, they have money until they buy the boat, and,
People
and
that
then
are
they're,
about to
then
be
they're broke.
broke. Yeah, that's what I was gonna
They
say.
were about to be broke. Yeah. I've had three boats, guys. You'd have thought I learned my lesson at least on the second one. But no, I got that happy bug again and bought a third one. In any case, I'm not buying any more boats. I'm done with that stuff. But boat dealership. Okay. Now here's one that's so obvious. Even I didn't even think of it till I saw one of my friends at a Home Depot. He was an HVAC contractor. Now, Home Depot and Lowe's both sell water tanks, furnaces, and air conditioners. So this guy's name's Rocco Florio. I'm in there one night getting some supplies for a remodeling job I was doing. I said, Rocco, what are you doing in here? He said, you know what? I'm promoting my business. And I said, how's it going? He said, I've got at least 4 appointments coming up this week just from tonight. That's where I got the idea. So I approached him because I was buying, I still have a pro account, by the way. So I went to the pro desk and I said, I have an idea here. It's going to probably need to involve management. But you see that space over there coming inside the door, and you've got the Christmas decorations that are going to go away in a few weeks. What if I set up a table over there and help draw people to your store who are interested in buying real estate for the purpose of remodeling? Because it's not just flippers. There's a lot of home buyers that want to buy a home that needs work, and they're gonna get a good deal on the house, do the remodeling, and then have a more valuable house. Okay. And they said yes. So I did it and it worked. Okay. So you get a lot of people coming through that front door buying paint and hammers and grills and sandpaper and everything else under the sun. They sell kitchen cabinetry, they sell windows, they sell doors, they sell roofing, they sell everything you need to build or remodel a house. And there you are right up front with your booth, your desk, with your booklets, with the flipped homes, the homes that have been flipped, rentals if you want to do that too. How do you like them apples? Using Home Depot or Lowe's, I'm telling you, they are everywhere. And I've got within 10 minutes, I've got two Home Depots, and within 5 minutes, I've got a Lowe's right around me, you know. And I'm not doing that now, but I'm just saying you'll have no problem finding Home Depot or Lowe's. Even when I was living in rural Virginia, within 25 minutes was a giant Lowe's. You know? So, in any case, you have to, you got to practice. You might as well start somewhere. Um, but in any case, let's do a quick pause here. So far, who here is interested in learning more about this approach to marketing? Just a hand raise or a type in the chat box there. Okay. Couple things here. Uh, Joint ventures can be you setting up a booth in like a Home Depot or a car or boat dealership. But in other cases, it's you're dealing with contractors, right, or remodelers, or the interior decorators. They need to showcase what they're doing. So let's just start with a really good example. Is an example of a flip. So you've got a house, you've helped the investor buy the house. You know they're going to remodel it, so they need a contractor. So you should always have a corral of contractors at your disposal. This is why I recommend one of the reasons why I recommend you join a local investors club. It's not just to get clients, it's to make contact with the vendors, contractors, lenders, insurance salesmen, landscaping, snow removal, pest control, pool people that install pools. A lot of those people are also members of the local investor groups. So you meet these contractors. So when you're working with flippers, they're going to ask you, I've never done this. I'm willing to follow your lead. But I don't even know any contractors. I said, don't worry. I can suggest three of them to you, and I'll also suggest that you vet them yourself. These are just people I've heard do a good job. I would never say, I think you should use this guy. I think you should say something like this. I suggest you take these three contractors that I'm suggesting. I'm not recommending them, I'm suggesting them, and you contact them, interview them, have them come look at the house, give you an estimate, and then you make your decision wisely. Because if you don't do that, if you just say use Bob Smith, he does all my flips. If Bob Smith messes up, if something goes to court, and the other lawyer says, "Hey, how did you hear about Bob Smith?" "Oh, my real estate agent." "Really? What other contractor did they recommend?" And if that client stands up there and understands it, says, "No, they didn't recommend it. They just said use Bob Smith." You're going to be part of the settlement. Okay. So always recommend a minimum two, preferably three vendors. In any case, so what you do is you just have the conversation and say, look, if you want to get a better deal on this, let them showcase your house like for other people, other clients that want to use them as a contractor. They'll take pictures of your property. They'll build a portfolio out of the whole project. Okay. And they're going to bring people in just like I'm going to bring people in to sell your house once you've remodeled it. The contractor wants to take people through there to show them the type of work he does. Are you okay with that? And he'll give you maybe a 5% discount on the overall cost of the project. I don't know about you guys, but I would say sign me up for that one. Because I will definitely take a 5% discount on a remodeling job. Has anybody done a kitchen lately or a bathroom? Yeah, 5% can be pretty significant. And you could be talking about, $1,000 easily. So in any case, that's one idea. Okay. And with the interior decorators, you know, what you ask them to do is if they do the design work, they're going to get paid for that. Remember, they often do staging as well. They want to really accentuate the design that they've done, and they want to put their own furniture in there and their own paintings and things like that. They always charge for that. But what you can say is, look, if you will um, stage it for free, you've already got the design contract. If you'll do the staging for free, we'll get the people into the buy a house. And I'll make sure you're on my recommendation list. Okay. Um, in fact, tell them the next time you get another sale where there's no remodeling involved or no design work, but just staging, say, I'll make sure I get you that staging contract. You'll be one of my three vendors that I recommend. So in any case, these things are really pretty easy to do, but that's an example of using like a Home Depot, using a contractor, excuse me, and using a interior designer. Now, let me take a quick break here. Let you guys ask questions. If you have questions, type them in the chat box, raise your hand. And if you've done this type of thing before and you want to interject and input, please. I mean, I'm just one person. If you've done this before, pros and cons, something that went right, something that went wrong. I want everybody to have an accurate, you know, an understanding. It's not everything
Gary,
always goes. Yeah.
I put in the chat, but I did joint ventures for marketing with appraisers, inspectors, handyman, lawn care
Mhm.
people. I put pool people. I didn't do it with pool people, but I know, in Florida, obviously you can, and anywhere where there's a lot of pools, but um obviously the lenders, title companies, insurance, and attorneys, we got more marketing dollars from them because they were making more income, and you wouldn't make maybe as much as with the other ones, but like you said, they'll pay for your marketing or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah. Usually what it's like with the lender, the title company and the insurance people, those are real just basic classic marketing. It's they'll do the old school marketing. But if you do a good business with them, they'll usually pay for the whole thing. And was that your experience, Andre? Did you ever get them to pay for all the marketing? Did you ever do some where you split the cost, anything like that?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, they'll pay like if you get there, you know, like for open houses or whatever, you get the lender or whoever's doing it and put their picture and their
Mhm.
information on it. So they're on it as well. And they pay for the whole thing. I used to take out like 6, 8 pages in like the Homes Guide, magazine type stuff. Um, and I'd have like I had an appraiser actually pay for like 2 or 3 pages,
Mhm.
and he put his business card was just like one little tiny piece in the corner.
Mhm.
And what that would normally cost, whatever, I don't remember, $200 or whatever, he would pay for the whole 2 or 3 pages.
Mhm.
But because he was helping me with the marketing, right?
Yeah.
Um, I had lenders and attorneys actually um, sending me monthly checks for marketing and advertising purposes. And I would
Yeah.
do what I wanted with it, but they got a lot of business from us, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's the good news about this kind of stuff, guys, is it's perfectly legal. It's not that complicated. You really just have to ask. So if you're a new agent, your first when you get your first deal, one of the first things I would really recommend is um, reach out to whoever was involved after the closing. The lender, the title company, whoever provided the insurance, anybody involved, appraisal, the whole appraiser, and just thank them and say, I just want to thank you. That was my first job. I'm really excited, and I've already got some other prospects that I'm showing houses to, or people that want to list in the next 3 months. Is there a way for us to work together more closely? And usually they'll say, it sure is, buddy. Here's one of the things we do. We'll help you pay for marketing. Um, they're often very forward thinking and outgoing. You don't even have to do the heavy lifting. You know, in fact, it's a lot of times they actually will do the design work on the marketing. They'll design the brochures and the whole 9 yards. Now there's more of it being done online, but I would take offline and online combined any day of the week. Um, now, thanks, Andre, by the way. Is Christy still here? Christy, you've also done some lending, right?
Yes.
Did you ever do this for other agents too, or get involved with an arrangement with a like a team or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
on the other side, even as a realtor, like I've in the past partnered up with like different lenders, but I also partnered up my ex-husband had a HVAC company, and so like he also did that, but we also had those techs out there that was out there like because they're in people's homes like, oh, I'm getting ready to sell or whatever, and they would just hand out that card. So kind of inner circle of people that you might know that's inside those home services that might hand out your cards and info too. I got like probably about 3 or 4 deals a month, a year out of just that.
Nice. Yeah. One of the things I've seen, um, listings, when you just, let's say you do an open house, your listing is you can have the people you're partnering with, it doesn't have to just be one vendor. You could have in your home that you're showing on open house, you can let their vendors set up their own little display, right? And they'll have all the plastic frame and the whole 9 yards, and they'll have a brochure, example, they have a list of testimonials, you know, 10 people that recommend them because they did such a good job on the loan or the closing or the insurance, they got a special deal in insurance. You can set those up in there so that your people walking through, your consumers, have something to take with them. Not just a business card, they'll actually, booklets, things like that. Or how about this, free consultation? Insurance people are famous for this. Hey, let's have a meeting online. I'll compare your policy you have right now with ours and another third party. Progressive got in the business, guys. Progressive is actually an insurance company, but their entire marketing angle was totally based on them doing a comparison for you. I mean, you've seen the commercials, right? That's exactly what they did. So you can do the same thing with your vendors, let them have a display in your open houses. And there's no, even, you can have five of them: interior designer, remodeler, lender, title company, and insurance guy, you know? So, Robin, you want to add something or have a question?
Two things real quick. I know there's at least one person waiting to get on that I'm getting text
No.
messages. So if you just want to check if there's anyone else waiting to be let in. But also from, new construction standpoint, this stuff happens consistently, and, lenders, all of these people that you're talking about would definitely, be great support for an event or something like that.
Mhm.
Bring in food for those events and all kinds of good stuff. My question though is just, so how does this compare back when we were talking about like giving 3 recommendations, and where does that get a little
Yep.
sticky sometimes if you're
Good,
having them be at the house with you, but we're recommending 3 people?
good question. So you still always want to recommend multiple, at least two people. And I prefer my personal suggestion is three. Most brokers will say, please prefer three people, and you can't get in trouble. But so with these displays, if somebody asks you, hey, is this who you use for your settlements? Just be honest with them and say, if you've never used them, say, no, I've never used them, but I know of them. They were willing to help pay for the marketing. And I looked them up. Apparently they had a good reputation. And just say, I recommend you seek out, interview two or three title companies. But these guys, I would say make them one of them, because here's what I would tell people. Say, think about it. They care enough about their business to make the effort to joint venture with agents like me to get your attention and earn your business, right? And here, by the way, usually we'll have a sheet of testimonials, and that you can give them. So that's really how you handle it. They're the ones that pay for display, and it said that they'll say, I've never had this happen, but let's say a tester who's, guys, we get tested. The real estate commission will send testers around sometimes. So if somebody says, why don't you have three lenders up here? I would just say, well, simply, quite frankly, I'm just looking for marketing budget. And I found one, and I'm happy to do that. And I didn't want to confuse people or create competition inside this open house. My job here is to sell the house. That's why these guys got or have their display. They just happen to be first. But I do recommend, Jane Doe, Bob Smith, and Acme Settlement Services, you know.
And I've always
So
been very upfront with the lender too, that they're not the only person I'm recommending. They all know that. I mean, it's.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So, Brianna Latham. Hey, Brianna.
Hey, Gary.
Long time no see. How you been?
I've been great. How are you? Good to be here.
Good. Digging the hair.
Thank you. Thank you. A little different.
That's awesome. Um, okay. So back to this. Hey, by the way, Robin. So when it comes to new construction, um, I've seen this done before with interior decorators. They love new construction models. So any examples of that, or what? How about one example, like a lender title or insurance? That's more of a those are easier, but and then maybe example of interior decorator. Um, furniture, so furniture dealers. I've seen it done with furniture dealers too. Help bring in
Yeah,
the
so a
furniture.
ton of examples. First, I just Catherine put in the chat that did we have to get homeowners permission? I would absolutely recommend that you let the homeowner know that you're hosting the open house, but you're having, drawing extra, traffic and interest in their house by bringing in these vendors as well. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that, but I would say absolutely let the homeowners know.
Yeah, yeah,
For new construction, yes, it's common for them to be quote unquote preferred builder lenders.
mhm,
And, sometimes they're giving special incentives and that kind of thing. From a builder perspective, I would say that there's very specific constraints for doing a loan on a new construction project. And whether it's a construction to perm loan, which is something that's like paid out slowly during the course of the build,
mhm.
it's just literally not something that every lender is capable of. Um,
Right.
and usually our preferred vendor would have been selected based on someone that if they did a pre-approval and they said this buyer's good to go, we knew that we were comfortable building and taking the risk on building a house custom for this buyer. So it was just someone that, we knew would be honest with us and say, this one's a little shaky, we might want to make sure we're getting a stronger pre-approval or whatever it is, or maybe don't let them go well out of the range of design finishes that you wouldn't be able to sell to somebody else in case they're not able to close on this.
Yeah,
So that's typically why, a lot of the builders are aligning themselves with a lender. It's someone that they've developed a
yeah,
trust with, for that kind of thing. But even so, we always, even if we had a quote unquote preferred one that we're giving incentives or whatever, we always, for our own protection and ethics, made sure that we were recommending multiple ones because it always
mhm.
comes back at you like, oh, you made us use this guy. No, we didn't. Here's the email where I gave you 3 different contact information and told you to, do your own research. So you never
Yeah,
want it to come back at you for sure.
yeah.
Um,
What-
from a
mhm.
design standpoint, for that question, Gary, yeah, I mean, we've done everything from, like you mentioned, have them come and stage the house to, promote their store, or promote their services. We've also had closet companies come in, and a lot of times, if you're willing to have even their brochures available, um,
Mhm.
so that they know that you did that closet system or whatever. You can create a lot of great relationships that way. Obviously, it's easier with a model home that's going to be there for a length of time than a one and done resale. But
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. By the way, on the lending, what's interesting is it really is a mutual trust arrangement between builder and lender because lenders also want to make sure they work with builders that have the wherewithal to follow through and complete the job and do it in a timely manner. Because remember, they're extending draws, right? And that money is going out, and that money is at risk as soon as it goes out the banker's door. So they want to make sure they're working with a good, reputable builder who's got, assets and the crews to get the job done. So it goes both ways.
absolutely, and can close. If they've locked something in, they want to know that they can keep their client happy too because
Yeah.
they're going to meet that rate lock deadline. So.
Absolutely. And down the road, they'll likely get a home equity loan from the deal. Hey, Robin, while you're on, Kathy McDevitt has a good question. So she's down near Jacksonville, okay, Florida, and she's asking, are there lenders that you would consider preferred? And I'm just going to preface this, Kathy, by saying, in my experience with builders, it was usually a local bank or a sub-regional size bank that the builders work with. Most of the builders I worked with never did work with PNC and that this. So, Robin, what about you guys? What's your take on that as far as what kind of lender to look at?
100% smaller local banks and that kind of thing are always, they just have a little more flexibility typically. And the biggest concern and where I've had the most issues is people who are rate shopping and they just go online and get some Joe Schmo lender or even Rocket Mortgage or something like that. That's literally just an online lender and they're going to say, yes, 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 we can do new construction. You know, I used to have to create a whole list of questions that I would have my buyers ask the lender when they were interviewing them and say, look, this community is new and it is not FHA approved yet. It is not 50% complete yet. It is being done in XYZ phasing or whatever it is, because, you know, some of them just have very strict guidelines of what they can meet. And so to that point, you know, there were many times that we had to, at the last minute, right before closing, go to one of our preferred lenders and have them come in and save the day because this one who had promised some rate couldn't actually do it when it came down to it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a lender that promises yes, 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 and they don't deliver, and your deal dies.
Yeah.
The operating tail is horrible. So be careful, guys. I probably should be careful. I'm tempted to name one of the banks, but I don't want to get myself in trouble. But hi, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching a recording of the Monday Night Live class. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. I wanted to let you know that, you can come to Monday Night Live whenever you want, but you can also participate more with the team. Why don't you set up a call with me, a one-on-one strategy call? I can go over everything with you, show you everything that we have to offer. For example, did you know that on our team, not only do you get your leads, we actually give you your own account on our lead gen system. So this puts you in control. You're not waiting on somebody to hand you leads. You get to pick the ones you want. Okay. Huge difference. We have 21 of our own proprietary marketing campaigns. They're all copyright protected. We're the only ones that can use them. Okay. The coaching is absolutely one-on-one. We got 3 coaches. We even have a 4th success coach that we have access to. Okay. One of left fewer than 100 in the world. Okay. One-on-one coaching. Right now the big problem is volume. We need more transactions. We need more inventory. I get it. Well, we know how to get it. Our team actually outproduces the national average by more than 2 to 1. So if you're struggling, don't do that anymore. If you're a solo agent, if you're a team, let's just talk. Smart entrepreneurs are always open to discussion. Learn what we have to offer, and then you can make an informed decision about staying where you are or moving on. You got to decide, if you're not where you want to be, you've got to take action to get where you want to be. Let's see how we can help you do that. I look forward to talking to you. Click on the link, set up a call. And by the way, I'll see you on the next Monday Night Live. It's a bank I used to work for. I'll give you that hint. You can look it up and see who I used to work for. And even when I was doing my own flipping, I've refused to use them. They were horrible. They killed more deals and dragged things out and just ridiculous. So, but the local builders, the local lenders, guys, hands down, favorite all-time lenders to work with, So, yeah. Now, having said that, I've got some news for you on the lending front here. We'll hold off on that for a minute. I just want to make sure. So far, any questions, guys? I know we're probably making it sound simple, but I got to tell you, of all the things you could do, this probably is one of the simplest things. You're just basically talking to somebody you're already going to do business with, a lender, title company, and insurance, right? Everybody here drives a car, right? At some point you buy a car or sell a car. Everybody needs insurance, an insurance person, right? So, but any questions or any nuance type questions? These are good questions. Okay. When in doubt, one of the best things you could do is just run it by somebody on the team. Anything that you're looking to getting to an agreement on marketing wise, just shoot it my way. I'm happy to, this is what I do. I'm happy to look at it, give it my 2 cents worth based on my experience. You got Robin on the team, right? She's a former builder and also leads the new construction huddle, right? For those of you who are new to the team, we're about halfway through the first 12-week training program for new construction. So once that's done, we're gonna she and Carl and I are gonna brainstorm on how do we do the next step. But you'll have all kinds of engagement there with other people on a team who are getting into new construction. By the way, I had a great call with Chris Dollar Simmons earlier, Robin. So yeah, he's going to be getting more engaged. He's got a closing coming up, and he's feeling a lot more confident. Plus a couple listings. So yeah, okay. All right, well, let's do this. It is about 18 before the hour. On the lender front, a couple of things here. In the spirit of me recommending 3 people, all right, there's 3 lenders that you can work with. One of them is Success Lending. Now, for those of you who are not with EXP, Success is it's a separate entity altogether, but it is owned, indirectly through us. EXP, we're all shareholders, and if we use Success Lending, we get shares of Success Hub. There's other things though you can do too. There's more to this picture. I will tell you, Andre, like to give a little bit of insight tonight, but just before Andre, we do that. One of the things I know for sure Success Lending will do is that they will absolutely help you with your marketing budget. I mean, I've had the top of the top leadership people tell me that. Let's bring. In fact, I'm trying to get one of them to come teach a class for us. Okay, so Success Lending, they're pulling out all the stops to make a big push in the lending environment nationally. So keep that in mind. There's some other things coming out. And Andre, I'm going to do 2 more things, and I'll ask you if you can speak as much as you're able to on that. Another one is Ask Local. That's the group that Gina is involved in. And the guys, they just started not too long ago in one state, Ohio, and now they're, I think, 47 states. And that I know the owner. He's extremely aggressive. He knows how to get the job done. And everybody I've ever spoken to that use them, they get to the closing table. They don't let deals fall apart. And they give your client an eighth of a point off just by using them. Okay, so that's Ask Local, ASK Local. That's the second one. And the third one is one of our own team members, Modupe Idaho. We call her Mo. Mo is from Missouri. She's still licensed there in St. Louis, and she's also in Texas and Dallas. She's licensed there. She can her own self directly lend in Dallas. She's got her lending license in Dallas, but because of the company she's with, she can get loans for you anywhere in the country. So you
How
know
do you
me.
spell her name?
It's Modupe is Modupe, Modupe, and Idaho is IDOWU, Idaho, Modupe, Idaho. We call her Mo. She's on the team roster. If you go to the team website, go to GI resources, click on team roster, and you'll see her. She'll see her right in there. In fact, she's got a closing coming up. Awesome person. She used to be a news anchor. She was on the news. Remember, Kathy, we were talking about that before? Did you guys ever get to meet? I think you did in class one night. It's a
Oh,
class we had.
maybe. I don't think so.
Yeah. She was
Maybe,
also
but
nominated for a couple of Emmys. Yeah. So, guys, if you haven't met Kathy McDevitt, she's pretty awesome herself. She has actually won some Emmys, right? She was Fox, CNN. I mean, what a great person. So, in any case,
now I just have to win in real estate.
yeah, it's a whole different world, isn't it? Yeah. So, in any case, Andre, if you're still on, is there any insight you can share on what's
Yeah.
happening with Success that we're allowed to share with everybody?
Yeah, we've been docking with Success for quite a while, and we're getting things wrapped up here. We have another meeting tomorrow, so it's coming together pretty quickly, and we should be able to announce it to everybody. But we're going to be able to help agents with their marketing, co-branding, a lot of co-marketing, and they're able to uh, loan. I think in there's only 4 states in the U.S. that they can't do. I think it's New York, Alaska, Hawaii, and one other one I can't remember. But every other
Actually,
state,
is it Massachusetts?
I don't think so.
I'm not
Because I
sure.
tried to actually ask for, I went on the website and I did search for Massachusetts, and there was zero.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
find out. I thought it was Maryland, but I'm not sure. But we can find out for sure. But um, so besides being able to do the marketing and co-marketing, et cetera, we're also going to be able to, when we're dealing directly with the vice presidents and presidents of success websites or success lending. So when you have an issue or a problem, and sometimes you're talking to your loan officer, and they guys say, "Well, we got to work on that. We got to check," and it takes a week to get an answer to the top people. We're gonna be able to call them and talk to them directly. So we're getting that set up right now, and I'm pretty excited about it because it's going to really help our agents, and they'll be proactive and helping with their marketing, et cetera. Um, so that's going to be coming down the pike here pretty soon. Oh,
Awesome.
and
Mhm.
here's something that I just found out as well. If one of our partners, you guys, say you have a lender, a really great lender, and they're going to have lenders right there in your local markets, like here in Florida and Georgia and wherever. There will be several lenders that, I mean, loan officers that we're going to be connected to. But if you have a loan officer yourself, and man, they're really great, and you want to continue doing business with them, um, Success is going to give us like a one pager that we can just share with the loan officer and say, "Hey, you know, are you open-minded to see what might be available to you? You're an awesome lender, and I'm sure you're happy where you're at, but if you could earn more income or have more benefits, are you open just to see what Success Lending that's connected to our company can offer you?" And if you bring an LO, a loan officer, to Success, and if they're doing, don't quote me on the exact numbers, I forget, but it's something like from 5 million to 13 million or whatever in production in their last 12 months. Success will give you, the agent, $5,000 bonus for bringing them a great LO. And if they're doing over 13 million, again, I think that's the number, but we'll double check here. They'll give you a $10,000 bonus to the agent for bringing in a great loan officer to Success. And I'm sure there'll be more incentives like that coming down the pike. So stay tuned. We've been working on it for a while, and we're almost done.
I just wrote down 2 lenders that I know over a long time. He definitely meet some of those
Yeah.
thresholds. Um, and I could go buy myself a new pair of shoes. Yeah. Okay. Um, let's see, guys. This may go down as one of the shortest classes in history, but that's actually what I had for tonight. And before we do a sign off here, I do want to give you an assignment, whether you're on the team or not. This is for everybody here. What I want you to do is, and really take this to heart, is when you're out of class tonight, if going to, before you turn to the TV, pick up a book or call your friend, neighbor, relative, is write down for yourself at least one lender, okay, at least one title company rep, okay, at least one insurance person, because chances are you've know or have met at least one of those people from each of those categories, and then pick another category. Actually, let's pick all the categories. Challenge yourself to write down a name for a person in each category. So remember, auto dealer. You don't have to know the dealer, just an auto salesperson, right? If you're near the water, if you're not near the water, if you're in the middle of the desert, like the middle of Nevada, you're probably at the boat dealership thing, it's probably not going to work for you. But if you're near the water, that one, Home Depot and Lowe's, actually, you'd be surprised here. Who here has a pro account at any of those Home Depot or Lowe's? Yeah, you don't even have to be a contractor to get a pro account. I mean, I've did my house here. I'm not a contractor, but I got a program. Okay. Um, Also an interior designer. That's one of the other categories. Kitchen and bath company. They generally are loaded. They have a lot of money. They charge a lot for their work. They do really nice work. Um, and a window and door company, a local. They work there. The like Pella, Anderson, right? Those guys have local distributors and with the sales force. You just got to know a salesman. If you get material in the mail, like I do all the time, replace your windows, Anderson, replace your doors, Pella. Just keep one of those. And then finally, a good contractor, remodeler, because you're going to need to know one anyways. All right. And I'll make a plug for the investor agents out there. Keep going to your local investor club and get contact information for all these people that are already in the investor club. The investor club to track all these people we just named. Okay, every single one of them. I mean, the best way to stay in contact with them and get them to say yes to you is to go there, go to the meetings in person. Shake hands, kiss babies, go get coffee, go meet for lunch sometime. But the reality is you're going to get yeses more often the more often you meet with people. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah,
Believe me, I
Gary,
love.
I'm
Let's go
not
ahead.
sure if you already did answer, but Kathy put a couple of good questions in the chat. Would
Okay.
you mind readdressing them? I'm not sure if you answered them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, you have to get
No,
homeowners
he answered
permission.
it. He answered it.
Yeah,
Oh, I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention. Sorry. So-
that's
Thank you
okay.
for looking out after.
Yeah. Um, but any case, I know sometimes it seems like you're constantly working. Believe me, I like nothing better than to wrap up at the end of the day and just relax, pick up a book, sit on the deck and make a phone call or something. But something like this, guys, just take the next 5 minutes, take the next 7 minutes before 8 o'clock Eastern, and think of a name of a person you know in each of those categories, and then make the commitment to call them tomorrow. Email them, text them, call them, and say, "Look, I'm really looking to expand my business. We've worked together in the past. You got a great reputation. What can we do to work to? How can we work together um, to get more business coming in for the both of us?" And let them talk. Believe me, they'll take the lead. They'll offer. They'll say, "Look, we'll do some flyers and brochures for you. Tell them you're going to do the walkabout. Remember the other marketing campaign where you walk your neighborhood? You don't knock on doors. This is not door knocking. You take a flyer or a booklet with you and hand it to the people that you see who are outside their house. Tell your lender you're going to do that to drum up some business. I guarantee you they would pay for the flyer as long as they get to have their own little section that gives their contact information. That's an easy one. Now you got your flyers paid for. Does this sound good, guys? I mean, I'm trying to really be thorough and accurate here, but it really is just simple. Even if you don't have a listing right now, your aim is to get a listing. So I suggest you do the walkabout in some neighborhood, you know. And the nicer the neighborhood, the better. You don't want to wear, you want to dress appropriately, but shoes should definitely be tennis shoes because you're gonna get some sore feet if you wear anything else. But that's okay. People will just know you're human. So, um, okay, let me check.
Gary, one
Oh,
other real quick thing, if I can. I know our Connecticut broker room has a list of recommended vendors available. So if someone's, new to their market or something like that, that might be a great resource too.
thanks, Robin. I didn't think about that. Check your state's broker room. If Connecticut has it, chances are the rest of them have it too. Okay. Um, Now, real quick, I want to do a quick rundown of the huddles and also remind everybody next Monday is Memorial Day, excuse me. So I'll be working during the day. You're welcome to set up calls with me. Um, but in the evening, there will not be a Monday Night Live class next Monday, and we only do that like 3 or 4 times a year. I think Christmas, New Year's, Memorial Day, and Labor Day, and then July 4th if it's like on a Monday or something. The other days we keep working, but in any case, keep that in mind. Um, Now the huddles, we did launch the second agent attraction huddle. The first one, man, I can tell you what, guys, results are phenomenal. 7 people added 35 people in the last 4 months, that's amazing. The new construction huddle, we're halfway through the new construction huddle it's a learning format. So we're halfway through that. And I think, Robin, so far about half the people are now having their account set up with um, the details and then starting to look at pages to select.
Yeah, we're
Um,
actually 8 weeks out of 12 tomorrow. So
Whoa, holy
yeah,
cow. Yep,
cruising through.
yep. So that one's going great. The investor huddle started about um, almost 4 weeks ago. So if you do have the interest in with investors, I'm leading that huddle personally, and I'm going over everything that I did, literally from start to finish, right? And one of them involves belonging to a local investor group. But the booklet is another thing. So we're just going to keep focusing on the fundamentals, on working with investors. So that's that huddle. Okay. And then the second agent attraction huddle, that's on Thursdays. That just started last week. So that now the agent attraction huddles are locked in. Once we've set them, they're locked in. We just have to wait till I create another huddle if you want to be in one of those huddles. Right. Agent attraction is where you build your passive income. Okay. So Tatiana
So
just had her ad start today, and so did Connie. Right. They're part of the new huddle. So
may I
these are
jump
not,
in?
yeah, absolutely.
Uh, I want to thank Robin and the new construction huddle for opening my eyes, because I had a blind spot that in Massachusetts there are no new construction neighborhoods and stuff like that. And ever since I joined the huddle, uh, I I've been looking like, where is it there a new neighborhood in the style of other parts of the country? And there is two major projects, one in South Weymouth and the other one in Hopkinton. And the South Weymouth is part of like the old Navy shipyard area that is being rezoned and redeveloped. And it's going to be, so far, what they're saying in this latest iteration of it, it's going to be 50-50 in terms of homeowners versus renters. And
Mhm.
the one in Hopkinton is geared more towards the luxury market.
Yeah.
And Hopkinton is like a western suburb in central Massachusetts, and not is its own town. Massachusetts is very close to
Where
Tatiana.
the marathon starts, right? Doesn't the
What's
marathon
that?
start in Hopkinton?
Yes,
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
yes. So there's a lot of cool things, and
Hiding in plain
well,
sight.
yeah, yes, and if it wasn't because of you training us on the huddle, I would have completely been missing this. So even if you think like me that there are no new constructions in neighborhoods in your state, you'll be surprised. Join Robin.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you. Yeah.
also, there is difference between new construction and development, because what's happening in Massachusetts is a lot of contractors buy the old house, tear it down, and build new one. So it's also new construction, but it's just single house. It's not development. So are you talking about that
Infill.
too in your
So
huddle?
that's called infill as opposed
Mhm.
to a whole neighborhood that's being built out. And right now Vicinity is primarily focused on a whole neighborhood that's being built out. But it's certainly something that will eventually be for infill as well, I think.
Awesome. Yeah.
Are you going to do another? Are you going to start another series of those
To be determined. I had a long
training?
chat with Carla today, and we're gonna touch base with Gary and figure out what next steps are.
Everybody here, Robin, close your ears. Everybody here, be really nice to Robin and Carla. Be really nice to them. Okay? But I tell you what, guys, um, just a brief little bit of, economy talk. We have a new Fed chairman coming in. The challenge is I changed my forecast on interest rates. I do not think we're going to have a rate drop anytime soon. I think eventually we will, but with inflation, we've got to. It's just a fact of life. The Fed is thankfully really has done a really good job at least since I've been an adult. I mean, the Fed chairman that's on the way out, the only thing I didn't like is he decided to play the wait and see game. You cannot play the wait and see game with real estate. It does not work. And he made that mistake. Now we're paying the price. But the fact is, the new guys coming in, but we have inflation again. So just hang tight. But to me, the bigger problem is the shortage of housing. We have an imbalance between supply and demand on paper, like physical properties. We don't have enough. The problem is the demand has been dampened because we had several years of rapid price increases. During the pandemic years, prices in some areas literally doubled, right? And you follow that by doubling the interest rate from 3% to 6% or more. No wonder you're going to knock people out of the market. That's just what happens. So even though we do have an imbalance on supply and demand, the technical demand has been dramatically dampened because of the combination of rapid price increases followed by interest rate increases. It's just a fact of life. It's not permanent. None of this is permanent. It's going to change. But the best time to prepare for it is now, when everybody else is not paying attention. And right, the old philosophy, have one eye on today, one eye on tomorrow. Have one eye on tomorrow, because I can tell you this for a fact, new construction has always been looked to bring us out of an imbalance in supply and demand, because every other answer, repurposing old buildings and stuff like that, that only takes you so far. It doesn't solve the overall problem. The overall problem is we need new housing. We need more housing. And that's new construction. Be prepared now, get set up now. So when it does start to turn, who's going to get all the goodies? The people that wait and see approach, or the people that prepared ahead of time? Always the people that prepared. So in any case, final huddle, AI huddle. We are working on it. Just keep it in mind that we are going to create an AI huddle. It'll likely be a different time of day. Most huddles are 11:30 a.m. Eastern. The only exception is the CAP huddle, Certified Affordable Housing Provider. That's what Dr. Watson Lely heads up, and that's the third Wednesday of the month. Yep. Um, yeah. So that's this week, right?
Correct. Day after tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you want to put the link in the chat box, Lily, for anybody? Can anybody join that now? Is it locked in, or is it still open to?
It's still open, and I probably won't be fast enough to switch over, but I'll drop the link on our other chats. I'll put it in there.
Okay. Thanks. So if you have any input on the huddle, particularly the AI one we still have to create, I definitely want your input. I've got some ideas and some thoughts. Because I just want to tell you, AI is unique, unlike anything else we're going to have a huddle on. And it's not anything to be fearful about. I'm just going to tell you this from my own perspective. I've got a degree in computer science. We had AI back in the 80s. It wasn't anything like it is today. Totally not even close. But all AI is the ability for you to speak to your computer, right? Or type it in plain language and give the computer instructions, which means you're doing what?
Programming.
You're programming the computer. That is all you're doing. It is not going to take your job. It's going to make your job easier. If you want to be more productive in agent attraction, more productive in sales, definitely embrace AI. These are 3 AI queries I put in. I have these on my desk because I use them every single day. I've got another one back here behind the mirror doors by gym equipment's in there. I've got one there. And I've got another one somewhere over here. But in any case, that's 5 ways I'm using AI right now in my daily life, business, personal, you name it. It makes things easier. So we're going to do all the work, and we're going to let you have it. We just want your participation so that we can track things and measure things. So in any case, sorry to ramble. I know it's 8:05 now, but any questions or any thoughts? Oh, wait a second. We do have some questions. How do I find new construction huddle? So Mike McGran, hang on to your seat. Robin and Carl and I are going to meet and brainstorm. I don't have the answer yet, but we have some ideas. We just want to brainstorm on it and come up with the because now we've done the first 12 weeks, or we'll have done the first 12 weeks. We still need to do training on it for the future people coming in, but we also need to keep the huddle going for the people who are going to now be in production, working with builders and buyers and lenders. That's all got to be addressed and figured out in a way that makes sense for everybody, you know. So in any case, thanks for the oh, Robin actually already handled that. Thanks, Robin. I just saw the chat. Okay. Listen, guys, it's good to see you. Kathy, good to see you. Brianna, where's Brianna? Is Brianna still on? There you are. Yay. The new agents, welcome aboard. And any other guests, you're always welcome to come here. There's nothing to buy or sell. We don't recruit here. We just basically teach and build community. So I'm glad you're all here. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yes, I'll
Gary.
look forward
Thanks,
to
Robin.
You're welcome. Set up your one-on-ones, guys. Keep the momentum going. Keep setting up one-on-ones, okay? Okay. Bye, guys.
Oh, don't end it yet. There's the link is there from Lily.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, guys, go ahead and grab the link from Lily for the cat puddle, right? You got an opportunity here to join something really worthwhile, and there's a great need for it, and it's all over. It's national. It's in every market. And by the way, it's affordability doesn't just apply to lower priced properties. It applies to everybody. Eric will tell you they've dealt with clients buying $1 million homes, right? So it's a way for you to get some more deals. So, okay. Thanks, Lily.
Thank
for
you.
doing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You guys have a good
everyone.
night.
Thank you for watching Monday Night Live. Consider subscribing. Agents, want to learn more? Schedule a call with Gary using the link in the description.